You know that feeling? It's 7:00 p.m. on a Sunday. You're trying to relax. Maybe you've got a movie on, you're scrolling through your phone, but there's this physical knot tightening in your stomach. The Sunday scaries.
I have that feeling. It's
Right.
it's visceral. It's a dread.
It is. It's that dread of waking up the next morning to a job that just drains your soul, feeling completely stuck. And you're watching other people live these, passionate, exciting lives online. And this little voice in your head just whispers, yeah, that's for them, not for you.
It is such a universal experience, especially for high achievers. It's not just boredom. It's a form of grief. It's that feeling of being on a fast track to absolutely nowhere. And it's physically painful for a lot of people.
It is. But what if I told you that you could go from that paralyzing stuckness to a dream scenario, literally a new life trajectory in just 30 days? And look, I'm not talking about winning the lottery or, waiting for some rich uncle. I'm talking about a specific, discipline-based routine, one that rewires how your brain processes reality.
I know how that sounds. I do. It sounds like one of those late-night infomercial promises. But the blueprint we are unpacking today isn't about magic. It creates a bridge between mindset and actual tangible results. It's about moving from wishing to doing, but in a very specific way.
Welcome to Manifestation Matters. Today, we are unpacking a 30-day experiment that challenges, everything we think we know about luck and opportunity. We have this fascinating case study of someone who went from rock-bottom anxiety to a dream career in 1 month. Not by magic, but by following a really strict protocol.
And I think it's so important to set the stage here, because manifestation, it's a loaded word, isn't it? It triggers a lot of skepticism, especially for logical thinkers. It sounds like, I don't know, magic tricks or just toxic positivity.
Right, just think happy thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this deep dive today isn't about wishing on a star. It's about neuroplasticity, it's about psychology, and crucially, it's about action.
That's the mission today. We're going to break down this blueprint. It combines gratitude, intentional thought, and this is the part people usually forget. Action. We're going to show you how to rewire the brain rather than just, sitting around wishing for change.
So that distinction is everything.
Yeah.
It really is. If you miss the action part, you're just daydreaming.
So let's get into the weeds, because I'll be honest with you, when I hear manifestation, my immediate reflex is to kind of roll my eyes. I picture vision boards, people chanting, I don't know, buying expensive crystals.
Of course. And the material we're looking at today tackles that skepticism head on. It has to. So we have to address the elephant in the room immediately. Let's be very, very clear. There is no scientific evidence that your thoughts send out like magnetic waves into the cosmos to physically pull a Ferrari into your driveway.
Right.
That is not how physics works. If you sit on your couch and think about a sandwich really, really hard, a sandwich does not appear.
Which is a tragedy, really. I would use that power
But
constantly.
wouldn't we all? It would solve a lot of lunch problems.
Yeah.
But here is where it gets really interesting. And it's where the science actually supports the woo. We need to talk about neuroplasticity. The brain is not fixed. It can physically reorganize itself based on what you think and what you experience. And the key mechanism here is something called the Reticular Activating System, the RAS.
The RAS, okay, I've heard this mentioned usually in productivity circles, but break that down for us. What is it actually doing?
Think of the RAS as a bouncer for your brain, or maybe a search engine algorithm. That's a good way to put it. At any given moment, you are being bombarded with billions of bits of data sites, sounds, sensations, everything.
Overwhelming.
Totally. If your brain tried to process all of it, you would short circuit instantly.
So it has to filter things out just to keep us sane. It's a survival mechanism.
Correct. The RAS filters out the noise and only lets in what it tags as important. It decides what gets your conscious attention.
Okay, so it's basically deciding what I pay attention to. But how does it decide what's important? What makes the cut?
That's the catch. It listens to what you focus on. It's a self-reinforcing loop. If you wake up every single day thinking, my life is boring, I'm stuck, there are no opportunities, you are literally programming your RAS to tag boring and stuck as important.
Wow.
And it will then filter out evidence to the contrary just to prove you right.
That is actually terrifying. It's like a confirmation bias machine just running on autopilot.
That's exactly what it is. If you believe people are mean, your RAS will highlight every rude glance, and it will filter out the person who held the door for you. But the application here is powerful. When you start strictly focusing on gratitude or specific goals, you are reprogramming the filter. You're telling the RAS, hey, opportunities are important now.
And suddenly you start seeing things that were always there, but you were just blind to them before.
Yes, it's the red car syndrome. You
Yeah.
buy a red car and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. They didn't magically appear. You just told your brain, hey, look for these. In this context, you start overhearing a conversation about a job opening at a coffee shop. You see a flyer for a class you would have walked past 1,000 times.
So the opportunity didn't magically appear because I thought about it.
Okay.
It was there the whole time. My brain was just blocking it out because I was too busy focusing on how miserable I was.
Spot on. You were blind to it because your filter was set to misery. And this leads us to the concept of inspired action. This is the critical differentiator. This is what separates this method from all the, the fluff out there. Passive fantasy, just sitting there, imagining a perfect life without a plan, can actually backfire.
Backfire. I thought positive thinking was always a good thing.
Well, some psychological research suggests that if you just fantasize about the result, your brain gets a premature hit of dopamine. You feel the satisfaction of the achievement without doing any of the work. It can actually decrease your motivation.
Oh, because your subconscious thinks, oh, we did it. We already won.
Exactly. You feel good just thinking about it, so you stay on the couch, you get the reward without the effort.
Right.
This method is different. It's about building an internal state confidence focus so that when you see that opportunity, that red car, you actually take the external action. You apply. You send the email.
So it's not magic. It's brain training.
It is 100% brain training. It's like installing a new operating system.
Okay, I'm sold on the science. I get the RAS. I want to reprogram my filter, so now I want the manual. The blueprint outlines a very specific morning activation routine. It's about 20 minutes. And the first rule is aggressive. It has to happen immediately upon waking, before you look at your phone.
That no phone rule is non-negotiable. It has to be. Think about it. If you look at your phone first thing, you are immediately reacting to the world's agenda.
Email's bad news.
Other people's curated lives on Instagram. You surrender your focus before you've even gotten out of bed. You're starting your day on defense.
That makes total sense. I wake up, check email, and suddenly I'm stressed about something I can't even fix yet. So, phone in the other room. Step 1 of the actual routine, gratitude journaling. Now, we've all heard practice gratitude, but this makes a big point about how you do it. You can't just write, I'm grateful for my house.
No, specificity is the key. That's what creates the emotional engagement. Writing, I'm grateful for family, becomes a chore. It's just rote. But writing, I'm grateful for the way the sun is hitting my window right now, or I'm grateful for that funny text Dave sent me yesterday. That forces your brain to relive the positive emotion.
It shifts your brain from what's missing, which is kind of our default state, to appreciation.
And going back to the science, it primes the RAS to look for more things to appreciate throughout the day. You're setting the search parameters for the next 16 hours. You're telling your brain, find me more of this.
Okay, so gratitude is done. Step 2. Affirmations. Now, I have to admit, this is where I usually get a little cringy. Standing in the mirror talking to yourself feels weird.
It feels incredibly awkward at first. The blueprint admits that freely.
Yeah.
You feel silly. You might feel like you're lying to yourself. But the technique is to write 3 powerful affirmations in the present tense, as if they are already true.
So give us an example. A good one versus a bad one.
Okay, a bad one is, I hope to get a better job. Or, I will be rich one day. It's future, it's hope. A good one is, I am a magnet for incredible career opportunities that fulfill me and pay me abundantly.
I am, not I want to be.
Exactly. I want implies lack. It tells your brain you don't have it. I am implies it's your current reality, and you say them out loud.
Yeah.
And the routine mentions the 369 method, writing them 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, 9 at night.
That sounds intense. Why so much repetition? Why those specific numbers?
It's like brute force repetition to reprogram subconscious beliefs. Think of like rewriting code. If you have this deep belief that says, I'm not good enough, just saying I'm worthy once isn't going to fix it.
Not a chance.
But if you say it, write it, see it, morning, noon, and night, eventually the brain just stops fighting and accepts it as the new truth.
It disrupts the old pattern. Just when you're about to slip back into negativity in the afternoon, boom, you have to stop and write your affirmations 6 times.
Precisely. It keeps you on the hook.
Okay, step 3, visualization scripting. This isn't just closing your eyes and thinking, it's writing a script.
Yes, for about 5 to 10 minutes, you close your eyes and you focus on feeling the emotions of the dream life. Not just seeing the car, but feeling the leather on the wheel. feeling the relief of a full bank account. And then you write a short paragraph describing your perfect day in the present tense. I am waking up energized. I love working on this creative project.
What's the why behind the writing part, though? Why can't I just think it?
Writing solidifies the neural pathway. When you combine the visual, the emotional, and the actual motor skill of writing, you are signaling to the brain that this is highly important data. You're essentially building a memory of an event that hasn't happened yet. Top athletes do this constantly.
Right, mental rehearsal.
They visualize the race before they run it. They feel the track under their feet. It's the same principle.
So you do this for 20 minutes, gratitude, affirmations, visualization, and then you go about your day. But the protocol doesn't stop there, does it?
No. And this is where most people fail. They do the morning routine, feel great for 20 minutes.
And then they spend the next 12 hours complaining and doom scrolling.
Yes, undoing all the good work. The blueprint calls for a mental diet. You have to become the gatekeeper of your thoughts.
I love that term, mental diet. It implies thoughts are their food for your brain. Feed it junk, you feel like junk.
And just like a diet, when a negative thought pops up, like this is stupid or this isn't working, you don't fight it. You don't get angry at yourself. You just acknowledge it. I see that thought. And then you consciously choose to pivot back to your commitment.
That sounds exhausting, honestly.
It is at first. It takes real effort. It's like checking your posture every time you notice you're slumping. But this mental diet is what keeps the channel open for those nudges we talked about. This is the inspired action phase. Because your brain is primed, you're going to get these ideas.
Like, hey, I should update my resume, or, I should email that old colleague I haven't talked to in 3 years.
Those aren't random thoughts. That is your RAS handing you a potential lead. The imperative here is that you must act on them.
That's the scary part, though.
Right.
That urge to email an old colleague, that's usually where the fear kicks in. What if they don't remember me? What if I look desperate?
That fear is the barrier. But that action is the bridge between the internal change and the external reality. If you ignore the nudge, you break the cycle. You're telling your brain, actually, never mind, let's go back to misery. You have to trust the nudge.
So you've navigated the day, you've taken some scary actions. Now we get to the evening wind down. A quick 10-minute routine to cap it all off.
It's about closing the loop. First, gratitude redux. You list 3 wins from the day, and they can be small. I finished the project. I stuck to my routine.
I drank enough water.
Totally. It just reinforces that positive focus right before you go to sleep.
And then there's a question the blueprint asks you to answer. What can I let go of from today?
I love this question. It allows for a release. If you had a frustrating meeting or a moment of doubt, you write it down and you let it go. You don't carry that cortisol into your sleep. You let your subconscious process all the positive stuff you did instead.
So that's the blueprint. Morning, daytime, evening. It's structured, it's disciplined. But let's talk results, because this isn't just theory. We have a specific transformation story here that really illustrates how this plays out in the real world.
We do. And what I really appreciate about this account is the honesty about the beginning. The protagonist, let's call her Sarah, she didn't start and immediately feel magical. The first week was actually really hard.
She said she felt silly talking to the mirror. Her mind would wander during the visualization.
Which is completely normal. She felt like a fraud. But discipline was the anchor. She had committed to the experiment for 30 days, no matter how she felt. She just treated it like a prescription.
Then around day 15, the shift happened.
Right. And notice it wasn't a lightning bolt. It wasn't fireworks. It was a quiet internal change. She described waking up feeling lighter.
That knot of anxiety we talked about.
It was just gone. She felt a sense of calm expectancy instead.
And this is where the inspired action really kicked in.
Yes. Because she was scripting every day about a dream career, specifically working in a creative field. She got this specific idea to reach out to 3 people on LinkedIn, and these were intimidating people at companies she admired.
The old version of Sarah would have never, ever sent those messages.
Never. The old version would have filtered that idea out as too risky or pointless. She would have thought, they won't answer me, why bother? But the new version, primed by 15 days of this work, had the confidence and the clarity to just hit send.
On what happened?
2 of them ignored her.
Which is realistic.
Very realistic. But one replied. And that one reply led to a chat. That chat led to an informational interview. And by day 30, literally on the last day of the experiment, that led to a formal job offer.
A job that was more creative, better paid, and soul-aligned.
Yes. And if we look at this critically, Did her thoughts magically create the job? No. The LinkedIn message created the job. The interview performance created the job. But the routine dismantled the limiting beliefs that were preventing her from ever taking those actions in the first place.
That is the aha moment for me. It's not that the universe handed her a job, it's that she finally got out of her own way long enough to go and get it.
She tuned her radio to the station where the opportunities were playing. They were always broadcasting. She just wasn't tuned in.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Because I think a lot of people are thinking, well, good for her, but I'm really busy. I have kids. My boss hates me. I don't have time for a mental diet.
It just comes down to a decision. The final variable in this entire equation is consistency. It requires a decision to commit for 30 days. Not 3 days, not when I feel like it. 30 days.
And to see it as a psychological training program, you're going to the gym for your brain. You wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to be a bodybuilder.
Exactly. If you think about it, we spend so much time planning our outfits, our meals, our weekends, but we spend almost no time planning our thoughts. This is about taking back control of your focus. Because if you don't control it, the world will control it for you. And the world usually wants you to be anxious and buying things to feel better.
So here's a provocative thought to leave you with. Imagine what is possible for you. What specific problem in your life could be solved if you just decided to stop running that old I'm stuck program and installed this new one, just for 1 month? What would you actually lose if you tried?
You'd lose the anxiety. You'd lose the feeling of helplessness. Even if you don't get the dream job in 30 days, you will feel better. You will feel in control.
Exactly. Look, we want to know if you are up for this challenge. This is a community of doers, not just listeners. We don't want you to just nod along and then go right back to the Sunday scaries.
It works best when you make a public declaration. It creates accountability.
So here is your mission. If you are ready to commit to your own 30-day transformation, I want you to go to the comments section right now. Don't overthink it. Just write the words, I'm in.
Make that commitment to yourself. Put it out there. Put it in writing.
And if you found value in this deep dive, if this sparked something in you, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Maybe you can be accountability partners for the next 30 days.
That support system makes a huge difference. Doing it alone is hard. Doing it with a friend makes it a game.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We can't wait to see those I am in comments and hear about your results in 30 days.
See you next time.